What's going on, you guys? Ray here, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're gonna be jumping into our first really in-depth brawler strategy guide on Tara. So I hope you guys are excited. Let's jump right into it. Alright, you guys, so Tara is a mythic character along with Mortis. They're the only two mythics in the game, so they're a little bit harder to get than some of the other brawlers, but it is well worth it. Tara is very, very good. Also, as you can see on your screen, Tara is considered to be a range to mid-range brawler, being that she has some sort of distance on her basic attack. However, it's not that powerful. She suits more of that role of a mid-range brawler, kind of similar to a Shelly or a Nita. However, she can apply that pressure from a range. Other brawlers do outrange her, like Ricochet and Brock and Piper. However, Tara does have that range, but she's much better at a shorter distance. So Tara's major role in the game is utility and crowd control. So what these things are: utility, her super comes in handy in a lot of different game modes, say smash and grab. If a gem carrier is collecting a bunch of gems, has a bunch, you can use your super to drag them into a certain spot where your team can get to them and collect those gems. And then crowd control, with her basic attack, she can hit more than one person and do a lot of damage to the entire team, keeping the team back and away from the main objective. So Tara, very good at utility and crowd control. Alright, so now transitioning into Tara's attack. So as you can see, Tara's range is about 6 tiles. Before she got a nerf a few balance changes ago, she was able to range up to 7.5 tiles. So that is incredible. I'm very, very happy that they took away the range a little bit, because she was super OP then and she's still kind of OP now. So it was a well-needed change, but 6 tiles is her range. So very good range. She does a lot of damage. Next, jumping into her reload speed. So her reload speed is sitting at every 2 seconds she gains another attack. So this is fine. This is warranted because her attacks do a lot of damage. Now, 2 seconds isn't that much. It's not the lowest in the game. A lot of other brawlers have quicker reload speeds, such as Ricochet and Primo and Nita. However, 2 seconds, like I said before, is warranted. She does so much damage, or she has the potential to do a lot of damage with her basic attack. Now, every 2 seconds is pretty quick. So every 2 seconds, Tara will be able to reload and gain another attack. Alright, so next, jumping into her damage. Now, this part is important if you guys are thinking about upgrading Tara at all. As you can see, her damage when she's at her base does 400 damage per card. Now, she shoots 3 cards, so you multiply that by 3. If you get close enough to a brawler, you can do a lot of damage. Damage at max is 5,040 per card. Now, if you total up the 400 per card by 3, you get 1,200 damage for all 3 cards. And if you total up the damage at max 540 times 3, you get 1,620. So there is a big difference there. So if you guys are thinking about upgrading Tara, focus on her attack first. It does so much damage. The difference is very, very big. If you are kind of that player that likes to sneak around and get close, if you're used to playing with the tanks or shotgunners, Tara is right up your alley. She does a lot of damage. That difference between the base attack and the max attack when you use all 3 cards is a lot. So really pay attention to the attack if you're thinking about upgrading Tara. Alright, so now jumping into Tara's health. So Tara is considered to be somewhat of a moderate brawler when it comes to the category of health. So there are brawlers that have much less than her, and there are brawlers that have much more than her. Some of the brawlers that have really, really low can be seen at around 3,000 health. Some of the tanks have upwards of 7,000 and even higher. So Tara kind of fits right there in the middle. So her hit points at base are 3,200, and then at maxed it's 4,320. Now, because she fits into that middle range, she can be a little bit more aggressive than some of the other brawlers, but has to be somewhat passive in certain situations. If you're going up against tanks, you got to be careful with your health. So brawlers that have moderate health, such as Tara, fit into that role where they play kind of aggressive. They can be kind of that pusher for the team, being that smash grab. They can make things happen. They can be aggressive, take some damage, but have to back off in certain situations. So this comes into play if you're playing on smash and grab or things like that. You can be a good gem carrier with this kind of health, but you have to be careful. Once you start getting a lot of gems, say 5 or 6, you should start playing really, really passive. Use her range to her benefit. You might not be doing as much damage, but you have to be playing safe. you can still do a lot of damage to the entire team if you're firing from a distance. So Tara is a moderate brawler when it comes to the category of health. So now jumping into Tara's super. So Tara's super is arguably one of my favorite things about her. It is so much fun and is so good. It really spoke to me as soon as Tara was released that I want this brawler because of her super. Also with the addition with her star power, it makes it even more better and more cool. So let's jump right into it. Let's see what it does. So her range is sitting at about 6 tiles. So the super, she can throw it out 6 tiles. So about the same range as her basic attack. This is really good. It has a very wide radius though, so you can really suck in a bunch of brawlers. There has been plenty of times where I've sucked in at least all the people on the team, so 3 people in one go. This can really make a difference in game modes like smash and grab, where the whole team is huddled up in the middle. You toss down the super and it stuns them for a second, so your team can have the upper hand for a split second and take out the team. Alright, so let's break down her super a little bit more. So her range of her super is sitting at 6 tiles, so about the same range as her basic attack. Now the radius is what you want to pay attention to. The radius is so big that it's really easy to suck in 2 or 3 brawlers at one go. There's been plenty of times where I'm playing in a smash and grab game and I've gotten all 3, and then following it up with some of your basic attacks really does good damage to the entire team. Because your basic attack is able to shoot through the team, you can really get the damage going and charge up your super really quickly as well. Another thing that's really awesome about Tara's super is it can really turn the tide of a battle. Say you're playing smash and grab and you're down by a ton, you have 1 gem, the other team has 9. You can really change the outcome of the game just by 1 super. If you get a really good super, pull the whole team in and take out that gem carrier that has most of the gems, you can really turn the tide of the battle. You can really put it into your team's favor. Another thing that's really awesome about her super is it really puts a damper on some of the mobility troops in the game, such as Colt, Mortis, and Crow. They rely really a lot on their speed, and you can really cancel that by throwing down your super and sucking them into that middle. So if they are a good gem carrier, or if they do have a lot of gems, you can really manipulate their movement speed and pull them to the middle and take them out and take their gems. Now the duration of Tara's super is also very important. As you can see, it's 0.15 seconds. Now basically this is the amount of time that you can stun the brawler. Now it has some exceptions. Brawlers that can dash away like Primo, Bull, or even Mortis with his basic attack can get out of this if they do it right, if they time it right, if they jump out right as it's thrown. But the duration 0.15 is how long they're stunned, not to mention the knock up that happens when the super actually goes off. I feel like the duration is extremely important to note because it does do wonders. It's what makes Tara's super extremely good. Now talking about the damage is really underwhelming, but the damage is not the important thing, but we're still going to cover it. So as you can see, the damage at base does 560 and the damage at max does 756. So nothing crazy. That would only put a nick in Primo's health, or even some of the longer range brawlers. It's not going to do a whole lot. However, like I said before, it's not the damage that matters. It's the utility and the crowd control that we brought up earlier in the video that's extremely important with her super. You really want to use this super to make plays. You want to pull the brawler that you're trying to get into a position that your team can really dominate that brawler. Also, Tara's super is extremely good for things like escaping if a Primo is getting up to you, and now with the increased movement speed on the tanks, they can really track you down. So if you have your super activated and he's tracking you and he's really close, you can use your super to pull him away and get away. I've done this several times in Showdown. If a Primo is tracking you down, just pull him away and get the heck out of there, because the Primo, if he tracks you down, you are going to take some damage. So Tara's super, very good. My favorite thing, hands down, about Tara. Alright, so next we're going to be going over Tara's star power. Now Tara's star power is one of the best in the game. So Tara's special ability, as you can see, summons a smaller shadow version of herself. Now this happens following the super once it goes off, so after the duration and they get pulled in and after it activates, then the shadow version of herself is summoned. Now this has a lot of similarities to Nita's super ability, and the thing that's awesome about Nita's super ability is that it distracts like crazy. So now the awesome things about Tara's shadow version of herself is that it is much faster than Nita's bear, so it really makes them have to take care of it extremely quickly, or else it's gonna just keep doing damage to him and track down the other brawlers on the team. So we already touched on this, but Tara's shadow has 2,000 health, so it's much much less than any of the other brawlers. Even the weaker brawlers, it has about 1,000 less than any of the other weaker brawlers. So it can be taken out really quick, but it's still good for that distraction. Now her damage does 200 per shot. Now this may not sound like a lot, however, Tara's shadow hits extremely fast. If it gets on you, it really goes off on you, so you gotta be careful. You basically have to take it out right away. It is very, very quick. Tara's star power, A+ in my book. I love Tara's star power. If you are thinking about maxing out a brawler, definitely consider Tara. She's a great pick right now. Alright, so next we're going to be talking about the upgrade values of the pins, badges, and medals. Now this may look like a lot, but it is important to note because you can get a lot of value out of Tara. So as you can see, her pins increases her attack +10, her health +80, and her super +14. So not a whole lot, however the pins are very inexpensive, so it's very, very well worth it to get that extra couple plus damage or couple plus damage to your super or that health increase. So next, the badges double. So everything is doubled, even the price. So the attack is +20, the health is 160, and the super is +28. So you're really starting to get into the benefits here. It is relatively low cost as well. The badges don't cost a whole lot. Where you start getting into the really pricey things are the crests and the pinnacle, the 1,000 star power to unlock the star power. But other than that, it's not a whole lot. The medals are kind of expensive, but the badges and pins are really, really important. Make sure you're getting those on some of your brawlers because the benefits are really well worth it. Next, jumping into the medals, as you can see, is +30 attack, +240 health per, and +42 super damage. So next, jumping into the crest, now we're talking really expensive, guys, but the attack crest gives you +40 damage, so that's quite a bit. The health crest gives you +320 health, and the super crest gives you +56 damage, so really, really good. The crests are expensive, but they're amazing. So the final thing that I want to go over about Tara's build that is really important and that you should be keeping in mind with all of your brawlers is her upgrade priority. So as we mentioned previously in the video, you should be going for Tara's attack first. You get a lot of benefit from the attack, pins, badges, medals, and crests. Tara really relies on her damage, and if you can get close, you can really get the damage rolling on the entire team. Plus, with the benefit of her being able to pierce through brawlers, you can really get damage rolling on the whole entire team, and it's going to benefit your team then if you can take out those brawlers. So attack, very, very important. Make sure you're focusing on that attack tree first. Next is the health. So this is very, very closely behind attack. The health is almost as important as the attack because, like we were mentioning before as well, you are playing as that moderate brawler. You are being kind of really close. You want to be aggressive in certain situations, so you want to be able to tank some damage. So the more health that you can, the more aggressive you can be in situations. If you're constantly getting low in health, you have to retreat, heal back up, or you're just going to die more often. So the health is really, really important as well. So make sure you're getting the health very, very closely second. I would even recommend upgrading them in tandem. Make sure you're going up together almost, but attack a little bit more important. Following that is super, and this is the least important out of all of them. So make sure you're upgrading super last because it's not that important. It's the utility. The damage is not important to Tara's super. I cannot stress that enough. Make sure you're spending your hard-earned upgrade tokens on attack and health first, so make sure to keep that in mind. Alright, so next I want to talk about some of the game modes that she is really, really good in right now. So smash and grab is her #1. Smash and grab, she is amazing at. She's a great gem carrier and she can make things happen with her star power, so make sure your guys are using her on smash and grab. She's very, very effective in it. So another game mode she is really good in right now is Brawl Ball. I'm sure you guys have seen, if you are playing Brawl Ball really often, that Taras are being brought in a lot. The super is just so useful in Brawl Ball, being that you're able to make the opponent drop the ball as well, and a very important thing in Brawl Ball is taking out the team. So the first team to go down really is at a very, very big disadvantage because the respawn time is a little bit longer than other game modes, and you're able to push very, very quickly. Once you're able to take down the entire team, you're able to just push up and score the goal. So next game mode that she's pretty good in is Bounty, because she's so good at that damage output. She does a lot of damage if you can get close. Now, the reason she's just kind of good is because some of the bounty maps are really, really long range and benefit the long range brawlers. Some of the maps like Shooting Star, Tara has a really difficult time getting in close where she can really do a lot of damage. So the next game mode I want to talk about is Heist, and this is the game mode that Tara is not that good in. Somewhat fair, but not that good in. I say the only thing that she's really good at is defending. She's good at pulling brawlers away. Maybe if they're getting close to the heist, they can pull them away with the super. However, the lack of range and that utility in heist where you can throw over the walls with the lobbers, she lacks that. So it's a little bit more difficult to have a role in heist. So I would not recommend playing her in heist. You're going to lose a lot of trophies. So another game mode that Tara really shines in is Showdown. Because of her piercing damage, she can really do a lot of work in Showdown. She can break open a lot of boxes, which is really important to get those elixirs quickly, especially on game modes like Feast or Famine. If you go to the middle really quick, you got to be careful if you're going to the middle because you don't have that much health. However, you can really get a lot of elixirs going, and 10 elixir Tara is pretty scary. So Tara, very good in Showdown. I highly recommend playing her in Showdown. So now talking about the newest game modes, Boss Fight and Robo Rumble. Now what we know already about the game modes and the maps that are available to us is that Tara is pretty good in Robo Rumble. Not super good. I would not recommend. There are much better team comps than having Tara within that team. Some of the other team comps that really shine are like a Barley, Ricochet, and Colt. Things like that really do well in Robo Rumble. Now Boss Fight, she's really good in. She can really hold her own in Boss Fight, especially on the maps that we've already seen. The one with all of the grass, she's really good in because she can sneak around and do a lot of damage to the entire team if they're grouped up, which tends to happen on that map. And the map that we were introduced to right away in the beginning, she does relatively pretty well at as well. The major thing that's really good about Tara is being able to hit through people. And with the Boss Fight, there's a lot of people playing against you. So if you can hit more than one person with all of your cards or some of your cards, you can really get the damage going and take out a lot of brawlers and bump up that total time that you want to get in Boss Fight. So Tara, really good in Boss Fight, somewhat okay in Robo Rumble, wouldn't recommend. Alright guys, so that's going to be in the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a lot, but I hope you guys found it useful. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. So with that being said, you guys, make sure to keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.